It is so stunning to me that in this year, 100 years after women won the right to vote, many decades after the voting rights of 1965, that there are still people who are in power who really are trying to stymie the right to vote. We should all be at the polls. It just makes no sense. It is illogical, but it is also insidiously evil that there are people who want to make it difficult for citizens of America to vote on Election Day.
So many people feel like their vote doesn't matter. Either the issues don't speak to them, they don't feel like their politicians really represent them. They feel like, what the heck does it matter? I mean, if I vote or don't vote, who the hell cares? I think if they really understood what was sacrificed for people to have the right to vote, maybe we'd all take our vote more seriously.
My right to vote gives me a voice, gives me access, gives me political representation in this great nation. I don't think that, unfortunately, a lot of people recognize how hard it was to have the ability just to speak your opinion, let alone choose who represents you in Congress, let alone who, represents you as a nation. And the right to vote is symbolically my voice and speaking up and standing up for what's fair, whether or not the government agrees with me.
If you don't vote, you don't count. Because if people think you're not going to register your approval or disapproval, they'll ignore what you are advocating.
I'd always try to tell young people when they're at their first opportunity to vote that it's a habit. It's a habit that needs to be developed really early, and you need to vote in that first election.
I'm actually ecstatic to have the chance to vote soon. I believe that with my future vote, it will mean everything to me. I will finally have my voice heard. Many Guatemalans do not have that voice, especially women who live in Guatemala. They live under their husband or live under a dominant male figure. And so living here in the United States and having that right to vote automatically means that I am in charge of what I believe in and that I'm in charge for what I want for myself in the future and for my future generation as well. I think that makes me feel pretty awesome.
Growing up in a place where I looked different from everyone else, I oftentimes found myself being quieter, being the kid in the back of the classroom who didn't really say anything. Now, 20 years later, I'm a proud Pakistani woman who wants to say how she can change the world. And that, for me, is why my vote is so important.
I have voted in every election since I was eligible to vote. And I have been frustrated when I listen to people say my vote doesn't matter. But I know that a vote matters. I can see that a vote matters.
My right to vote means that I get a say in what I want my world to be like, what I want my daughter's world to be like now and in the future. It's my obligation as an American. People fought and died for this right, and I take it really seriously.
My right to vote is everything. My right to vote is my stamp of citizenship.
It's the most patriotic thing that any one of us can do in demonstrating our love for our country.
For me, it is almost a sacred privilege to vote, and I want other people to feel that way about their right to vote and not to ignore it come Election Day.